Small groups are our way to create predictable and authentic environments where people connect with each other, they study God's Word, and they pray together. Small groups are the best place for sustainable life change. In small groups, people discuss the issues and challenges of life, they encounter eternal truths, as well as be missed when they don't show up.
Hey, welcome.
Hey, Kim. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Oh,
Come on in.
good.
Oh, good to see you.
Thank you. It's good to see you. Oh, I'm so glad you're here too.
I will tell you this, I thought at first that I would never be able to reach or be able to relate to the group that was there.
Well, I was kind of scared. You know, I thought it was probably kind of weird, you know, and who knows what's going on there.
Sometimes, you think, okay, is this, this guy's not a pastor. He's kind of trying to teach us a lesson. Does he even know what he's talking about?
I was a little nervous about it at first, but, we were kind of lonely. We didn't really have a lot of friends at the time, and we had met the McKinneys, and they were super, super nice. And so we said yes, and we'd go, and we just loved it.
When it was about time for the whole session to be over, I realized that I had let these young people really get to me, and I really, really hated to see the group end.
At the other church we used to go to, we loved the church. It was great. It's just we couldn't get to know anybody. We were trying so hard. I was trying to invite people to movies or, whatever, and it was just hard to get a response. It's because we didn't really know each other, and there was no opportunity to do that. And here we were in this great big church, and just lonely as all get out.
So I learned a lot from scratch, you might say. But I really think the small groups are the only way you can get to know people.
The first thing you have to have in a small group is relationships. That's what you form when you're in small groups. That's what they're all about.
It seems difficult to get to know anybody in a church setting and in a church environment. It helps so much to have an away from church, but yet a spiritual activity.
It's easier to have a flowing conversation with maybe 8, 9 people or something like that than it is to just come up to someone in a room full of 300 people.
How can I put it? But it's like if you were at a certain age, you went in this class, and if you were another age, if you were a married couple, you would do this or you would do that. And you had to go to the class or the department that was your age. And therefore, you just stay with the same group all the time. But with small groups, they're moving around, they're choosing and getting another program ready.
It's an opportunity to meet with people and form relationships with people in your church that you have some kind of a common bond with.
It's like it's a sort of a mixed community. It could be young people and old people, and studying different topics or whatever you want to get into.
You want to be able to not just have a lesson taught to you. You want to be able to actively discuss the lesson with him while you're going.
What really excited me from the beginning was that it was such an open forum. I mean, that we talked and we shared our ideas, and it wasn't just like there was a teacher up there teaching you the whole time you're sitting there listening.
It's more of a flowing experience, and it's a lot easier. You're going to get more out of it if you can talk about something in your own way instead of only talking about it in the way that the teacher's talking about it.
People have different beliefs, but some of those are challenged, and it's good. Some of mine have been challenged, and hopefully I've challenged some of the other people's in their beliefs too.
Like if you're studying, say, the book of Ruth, but somehow you get off of the book and we start talking about personal things. And I think that's fine, because how else are we going to know each other?
Sometimes somebody has a difficult issue that they're wanting to share right then and there, and we may not start for 15, 20 minutes.
It's kind of like having a big accountability group. Someone to keep you on track with God that says, how's everybody been doing? Well, I had this trouble this week.
We got together and at the end of every small group, and we'd share our prayer requests, and you just say what's going on in your life. You say, hey, my kid's sick. or we're going through these problems, or someone's trying to sell their house and they can't sell their house. It's just something that's hard to share when you're at church, or even in a Sunday school setting.
That's just the ultimate. It's the only way you can get through life is with prayer. The first thing, I think, with all this, you're going to learn more about the Lord. There's just nothing you can do, and nothing any of us can do without Him.
I went to a small group for a while where there was almost always a guitar player that was there, and so you get into this, you automatically, they do that first thing, 3 songs, and then start the lesson, then they'll have songs later, stuff like that. But immediately you walk into the door, and you are in the act of worship. If you participate in that worship, you are suddenly at this face-to-face connection with God. And it's very difficult to just shake that off for the rest of the small group. And so I think it really, really helped a lot of people. And I know I was, I'm deeply moved by that, whenever there's there's worship involved in the small group.
It's just a good environment, relaxed, in someone's home.
I've been in several. I'm going to go to several more probably. But just it's nice to have that good, that home place where you can be. Because it gives you a good homey feeling.
Place where you can let your guard down if you have one up, and there's really no need for that.
When you're in, here's my Sunday group, I get to go with these guys, and I get to really just relax and just talk about God, and really just share my feelings with everybody and be okay.
To me, you just absolutely need them to get to know each other.
And just to have that intimacy and that trust that you build and you develop with people.
And people relate to what I had to say. People are going to listen to me. It's just a good place to be. You got to be in a small group.
Because I think, especially with a place like Grace, it just seems so at home. It's such a friendly place that the small groups would just have to be a part.
Now that we have a glimpse of what small group life is all about, take this opportunity to select one and to get to know others in that group, and just prepare your heart for all the amazing things God's going to do in your life.